information about cardiovascular diseases and cancers. Hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here. And here we go. How can I change the slide? I've already been introduced, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself so you can believe me. I'm also wearing this tie for it. I am a biologist, mainly in plant sciences, a pathologist, virologist, and geneticist. Yeah, just a regular plant breeder, okay? 8 years at Texas A&M, 3 degrees. What I am today. From 1960 to 1968, I took a lot of courses in biology, genetics, agronomy, so on and so forth, microbiology, so on. Sometime around the mid 1970s, Texas A&M and many other land-grant universities increased research on the science of nutritional foods for health. About 60 Texas A&M scientists and breeders, in conjunction with the Vegetable and Fruit Improvement Center, Food Technology, Health Science Center, Medical School, Kinesiology, including scientists from around the world, graduate students, all working to develop plants, animals with high nutritional values of vitamin C, A, B, complex, antioxidants, polyphenols. My family's Villalon genetics has cardiovascular diseases, obesity, diabetes, cancers, typical Rio Grande Valley families. This led me to educate myself in the nutritional foods for health. I have studied the nutritional health science of vegetables, fruits, animal foods for the past 50 years, including the function of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Regardless of your background, professional training, I think, and I hope that this presentation will do you and everybody some good. My 2-hour seminar usually takes on a lot of close to 500 different human diseases, including diabetes, cancers, cardiovascular disorders, cognitive disorders, metabolic syndrome, immunity, and prevention. So today we're just going to cover the cardiovascular diseases and cancers, what they are, what causes them, and how to get rid of them if we can. But first, let me tell you a little bit about my main project at Texas A&M University in Weslaco, Texas. It's to do with the genetic control of pepper viruses. Bell peppers are probably one of the most highly consumed peppers in the United States. The one small slice daily provides enough vitamin C, A, and powerful antioxidants, quercetin, lutein, and so on and so forth, for the entire day. I don't believe you need any more supplements. So during the 1960s and 1950s and 60s, pepper viral diseases were major contributing factor for significantly reducing the profitable yields in South Texas. In the mid-1960s, the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas, vegetable producers create a new pepper breeding virology position. At this time, I was in Homestead, Florida, as a tomato breeder. How can I reduce the size of this screen? Can you tell me? Hello? Major viruses that takes pepper, including number one, tobacco H virus, pepper mottle, cucumber mosaic, potato virus Y, tobacco mosaics, and approximately 48, 45 other different viruses. Our survey during the first year, we determined that tobacco H was the main culprit. So the first year, oh boy. Can you reduce the screen, sir? Okay. say God bless tropical America. That's my own opinion, because that's where chilies come from, peppers. That's where tomatoes come from. That's where potatoes come from, right in the region here in the Andes. Okay, this is the group called the Solanacea. Can we go back? I'm having trouble with this thing. Can we reduce the size of the screen? Hello?
Yes, yes, doctor.
It's too big. Can you reduce it some? That's a little bit better. The Solanacea group is about the largest plant group in the plant kingdom. So I'm having trouble getting control over this thing. 30 years of plant breeding research, or 60 seasons, or we have 2 seasons in South Texas. The combination of a virology lab, the greenhouse crossing bench, and the down and dirty individual plant selection out in the field led to the development of thousands of breeding lines representing 25 different virus-resistant pepper varieties. A second project was sugarcane research project, pathology. So this will get concentrated on the main commercial types from Mexico. The Texas A&M hot Hidalgo Serrano, we released the first multiple virus resistant bell pepper. And for the Southwest, the New Mexico, Arizona, California, the mild chili 1 and 2. And of course, the Cayenne, which is the king of the hot sauce industry in this country, and another bell pepper. But the one that made the head around the world, can we go back? Go back. The 10-mile jalapeno one was a shot that was heard around the world because everybody went into producing salsa picante at many different heat levels. For the pickling industry, we gave them the Tam Rio Grande Gold Sweet. And back to Mexico, we gave them the best multiple insect and disease resistant true jalapeno with cracks. It shows a sign of maturity. And for the United States and central area of Mexico, we gave them the Tam Poblano, or the ancho chili. And for the pickling industry, we gave them the yellow jalapeno with lots of flavor. If you go around the world, you'll see that not all of the picante sauce commercial products have the Texas A&M genes. The breeders all over the world took advantage of the multiple virus resistance. In 1985, Dr. Roy Nakayama, the chili breeder for New Mexico State University, at one of his New Mexico chili conferences, made a profound statement. Ben Villalon revolutionized the entire salsa industry with one word, and that word was mild. So we were not interested in the super duper hot chilies at all. It opened the gates for many people to enjoy the mild jalapeno, the mild peppers. The Texas Rio Grande Valley's most popular chili dulces, we call it, next to the 10-mile jalapeno, is we call it chili dulce or chili verde, or chili jalapeno, chili serrano, chili whatever. We never use the word chili pepper as they do in the Southeast. So before I get started with my program, I need to present this disclaimer, which I really hate because I know what I'm talking about. But any medical related information presented in this health nutrition seminars is intended for general knowledge and cannot be substituted for advice or treatment by a medical professional. Nothing should be construed as an attempt to offer or render medical opinion although otherwise engaged in the practice of medicine. I am not a medical doctor. So how to live healthily ever after? 75% of our plate should be fresh vegetables. A little bit of red meat from any animal. This is a good saturated fat. Okay, there's nothing wrong with meat. And a little bit of fruit. All fruit contain fructose, which is not digested like the other carbohydrates. It goes straight into your liver and causes fatty liver, cirrhosis, and probably cancers. So eat food, not too much, mostly plants, grass fat, non-processed meats, eliminate excess sugar, and exercise on an empty stomach. This was done by Dr. Michael Pollan and with a little doctor of myself. And you should exercise at least 3 times a week. It's very important. So in my seminars, start out with obesity, diabetes, cancers, stomach disorders, cardiovascular diseases, cognitive disorders. And in 2 or 3 of these, we'll give you the metabolic syndrome. My area of specialty that I like best is immunity and prevention. Epigenetics is a word that came around. It has to do with changes in organisms caused by nutrition, modification of the gene expression due to diet, environment, and behavior. The first 3 letters of my daughter, who's a molecular biologist, is Debbie, D-E-B. It makes it easy for me to remember this. Also you, D-E-B, diet, environment, and behavior, rather than alteration of the genetic code. Epigenetics was first introduced in 1930 by a fantastic biochemist who happened to be an African American. Nobody listened to him. 12 years later, 1945, Englishman Conrad Waddington reintroduced epigenetics, and it went viral. So we are in control. I'll tell you why we are in control of the weak recessive genes in our body. Cardiovascular diseases, a group of disorders of the heart and blood vessels that include heart attacks, strokes, or acute events mainly caused by blockage that prevents blood from flowing to the heart and brain. So what causes heart attacks? Myocardial infarction, heart disease, strokes, and TIAs, transient ischemic attacks, peripheral arterial disease, PAD, that's blockage below the knees, aortic, throat, 80% preventable healthy lifestyle. Here you see blockage. This is a small particles of low density lipoprotein. So here you see this is PAD right here. This is plaque. This is clean artery. And in the heart, this is plaque right here. So this is a multifactorial event. Genetics can and will and probably does play some part in heart attacks. Age, you can get disease at any age. Smoking, definitely. Hypertension, this is stress. You need to do everything you can do in your power to eliminate stress, which is almost impossible. And high lipid, dyslipidemia. Pre-diabetes, caused from excess sugar. And obesity, also caused by excess sugar. Slow down on the sugar. And poor diet. You don't follow DEB. And of course, you don't exercise, sedentary lifestyle. So the leading cause, cardiovascular disease, especially with type 2 diabetes, There's 3 types of heart attacks: arteriosclerosis, fatty plaque in the vessels, heart attacks or strokes. Number 2, arrhythmia, irregular heartbeat, structural changes, damage to your heart. And number 3, heart failure, weakened heart muscles as we age, lack of blood throughout the body. You must seek medical attention immediately. Common symptoms of heart attacks: feeling pressure, pain, tightness, chest and arms, nausea, indigestion, heartburn, stomach pain, shortness of breath, cold sweat, fatigue, dizziness. Common symptoms of strokes: sudden weakness, drooping of face, sudden issues with vision, difficulty speaking, slurred speech like I'm doing right now, severe headaches, dizziness, and trouble walking. You must seek medical attention immediately. The first 4 hours are the critical one where medical doctors can do something to save you. So take good care of this guy. Your mom has a live egg and your dad has the live sperm. They get together and form a zygote. And then an embryo, 4 to 6 weeks later, you have a baby, an embryo, a baby. There's life everywhere, okay? So what are cancers? It's a group of diseases in which abnormal cells divide uncontrollably and destroy body tissue. This is really bad stuff. So what causes cancer? A disease or group of diseases in which abnormal cells divide uncontrollably and destroy body tissue. DNA mutations may be caused by smoking, overeating, unhealthy diets, infections by bacteria, fungi, viruses, and many other microbes, and environmental pollutions. Cancer cells multiply slowly to form tumors that may take 8 to 10 years to be detected. Some scientists say it may take 50 years or more. Cancer cells can metastasize to invade other body parts. Cancers cannot be prevented 100%. Modern genetic virus broad-based immunosuppressive and antigen-specific therapies are effectively destroying tumors. Next. From England, we have this data. There's 7,000 compounds in cigarette smoke. 70 are known carcinogens that can destroy DNA. Marijuana is more dangerous because of the cannabinoid, which it is called cannabis indica. Contains THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. It makes you high. Closely related species, cannabis sativa, also contains cannabidiol. It reduces pain, stress, anxiety, inflammatory, and many industrial uses. So hemp is okay. Now for marijuana, they say medicinal uses. I don't understand what they mean by that. Recreational marijuana, I guess, makes you high, but it's very destructive. It can lead to death. So here we are. It takes every part of your body. The cell is the building blocks of life. Body count. The cell contains, of course, the nucleus and the chromosomes tend to divide to produce another cell. We have cells that are dying daily in our bodies. We have cells that are multiplying, the brain cells. When the chromosomes divide, the DNA becomes vulnerable. This is the area where fungi, bacteria, viruses, and microbes can attack this area and cause mutations. to cause tumors. So the cell breaks through the membrane, the cancers that detach, then it can spread to other parts of the body. Now, for the past 100 years, we have practiced the most barbaric treatments. One is the knife. The other one is chemotherapy and radiation. Those are very primitive, but that's what we have. And they're making a lot of improvements in this. But every time they do this, they take a lot of healthy cells. The more they take out, the sicker you're going to get. Some people prefer to die rather than take chemotherapy. I know because I have relatives. They actually wanted to die. So, human disease prevention techniques. For over 12,000 years, we've known the strong connection between plants and health, grown crops for health rather than food or fiber. The botanical therapeutics that include plant-derived pharmaceuticals is well known. Stem cell research, great research is going on. Tissue rejuvenation in another area for organ regrowth. Therapeutic cancer genetic immunotherapy, monoclonal antibodies that are highly specific to recognize and destroy pathogenic disease antigens anywhere in our body. We have Dr. James P. Allison. He's one of us, close to South Texas. He's head of the immunology department at MD Anderson Hospital, Houston, Texas. I predicted that Jimmy would get the Nobel Prize back in 2015. He actually did in 2018. So what did he do? The chimeric antigen receptor, the CART cell, inherited medical genetic genomes. So what happens? What does it do? Well, Jimmy took the chimeric antigen receptor T cells. This is a therapy. Extracted the T cells from our blood, genetically engineered them to produce these receptor prongs. Took the T cells and administered them back into the tumor cell. The modified T cells recognize and kill tumor. Okay, this was released in 1985, and it went viral. Almost every virology, every laboratory has improved on this technique. There are other laboratories doing great work in center. This is the Center for Generative Medicine, SLED regeneration. Its researchers and physicians are studying how to restore, protect, and replace pancreatic islets, which may lead to new treatments for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So here we go, studying islet biology, stem cells, bioengineering, genetic therapy, transplant and science. So the race is on. Islet regeneration holds promise for many people with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So how to live healthily ever after. Lots of fresh vegetables, a little red meat, and some fruit and exercise. Eat food, not too much, mostly plant, grass-fed, non-processed meats. Eliminate excess sugar and exercise on an empty stomach. This is done by Dr. Michael Pollan, nutritarian, and I doctored it a little bit, so my name goes there too. The U.S. wastes over $3.5 trillion on health care a year, trying to keep sick people from dying, but they still died too soon. Now, 50 years of plant science, breeding, research, and exercise has transformed me from a plant virologist, pepper breeder, geneticist, to a student of the science of human disease, prevention through nutritional foods for health. It's animal, fruit, and vegetables. I am an information gatherer. In my opinion, our U.S. government and medical profession should practice prevention through education. You got to exercise daily. So it's not the heart disease and cancer, nutritional foods for health. It's not what we don't know about diet that most threatens our health. It is a constant, widespread of information. What we don't know. Okay. So somewhere around 1970s, Texas A&M initiated a program. Yes. Designed by Texas A&M with the cooperation of the Fruit and Vegetable Improvement Center, Health Science Center, Medical School, and kinesiology, all for this is Dr. Bimo Patel from India, great chemical scientist. Yes, he lowered this thing. The 4 pillars of health, wellness, nutrition, healthy, no food after 7. Okay, sleep 9:00 p.m. That's when melatonin, the night hormone, kicks in. You have trouble going to sleep? Try the breathing exercises. 4, 7, 8. 4 seconds, breathe in. 7 seconds, hold it. 8 seconds, exhale. You do about 10 of those, and you'll go to sleep in about 30 seconds. Exercise before breakfast on an empty stomach. This will strengthen all your body organs. And stress reduction, deep breathing, 10 to 20 times. I say cool it. That means forget everything, distraction from life. Go play golf, go fish, go dancing, do yoga. You want to increase the melatonin at 9. Serotonin is the happy hormone in the mornings. And this cortisol comes on after a day. You see something bad happens to you, cortisol kicks in. This is not the good one.
Next slide.
Food is the most important medicine in the world, done by excellent scientists. Dr. Joseph McCullough came out with it. But I believe it's the perfect food pyramid. Lots of vegetables, a little meat, red meat, and some fruit, and perhaps maybe elimination of all this complex carbohydrates. If you want to know something about nutritional fats, the go-to person is Sarah Pope from the Weston A. Price Foundation and Sarah Phelan. A video called The Skinny on Fats. So here we go with the cell again. The cell is nature's basic building block of life. Okay.
Next slide.
Yeah. Advances in nutritional science can give you the power to take responsibility of your health and your life. Like Dr. George Furman, he's a nutrition scientist.
Next slide.
Here again, say that food, how can control this thing. It's for energy, growth, and repair. It's composed of approximately 50 different essential. That means we got to have them. Carbohydrates, foods, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and of course water. Food is the most important medicine in the world. And we know that glucose in right amounts is the most powerful energy source for our bodies. Remember, all foods contain sugar. Most of them are very complex and require a lot of energy to digest, with the exception of fructose. Next. No. I'm having trouble there. Food is the most important poison in the world. Causes inflammation. The burning of foods, burning of sugar in food, caramelization gives a nice flavor, nutty flavor. But we have glycation, advances glycation in products to produce some acrylamide compounds which can be carcinogenic, DNA mutation and oxidation rusting. So give us this day our daily food, junk food. This is the Western diet. We have too much of this. Next.
Next slide.
Processed vegetable oils. The 3 C's, canola, corn, cotton, safflower, soybean, sunflower. All of the seeds are extracted under extreme high temperatures and high pressure, and this produces hydrogenated trans fatty acids, omega-6, and triglycerides. The nutritionists need to differentiate between good fat and bad fat. This is bad fat. Animal fat is good fat. And remember that. Next. So, buffets or expert nutritionists only, eating everything you eat has carbohydrates. Everyone breathes on your food, fruit. So I stay away from paying a $35 to $40 to go to a buffet and everybody breathes on your food, and this is not very healthy. I stay away from that. Okay. Next slide. From Dr. Lustig, we got excess sugar is the most destructive force in the world for the human race. All food contains sugar. Some are very complex. Excess sugar makes you fat. That's why we have a lot of obesity. Sugar is 10 times more addictive than heroin or cocaine. So, ladies and gentlemen, good nutrition can save your life. This is by the expert, Dr. Robert H. Lustig, Professor Emeritus, University of California, San Francisco Medical School. Pediatric endocrinologist, is a childhood obesity expert. Follow this guy. He's got a lot of videos. So, not to live by, finally said by regulatory folks. A high intake of omega-6 fats, vegetable oils, has not been proven as beneficial for our health, and trans fatty acids have been shown to have negative effects. The higher intake of vegetable oils and the increase of carbohydrates and consumption in the past 30 to 40 years is the two leading factors behind high rates of obesity and metabolic syndrome in the United States. Saturated and monounsaturated fat are not. Saturated fat does not clog arteries. Coronary heart disease is a chronic inflammatory condition, the risk of which can be effectively reduced from healthy lifestyle intervention. Insulin resistance is a predictor of obesity and type 2 diabetes. Gives you fatty liver, cirrhosis, and possibly cancers. Next. I don't like this. They gave me the wrong setup. Senescence process by Aubrey de Grey from England is a depletion of natural body defense. Somewhere between 25 and 35 years old, senescence begins. We cannot stop it, but we can do a lot to slow it down. And here are the 5 steps of life, according to Benigno Villalon. This is my own opinion. Nothing scientific about this, but you're born, you have no choice, and you grow old, and then you get sick. This is the area that I concentrate on. And then, of course, you die. It's that simple. This bar, this line here, is totally non-scientific. It is my own opinion that in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas, South Texas, we have a lot of obesity and diabetes too. This is Rio Grande neglected health. Okay, we don't live as long as some people who practice dead. Next slide. Now we need to learn about the job of this organ. Pancreas, it makes digestive and hormones and insulin. The alpha cells work on by the hormone amylase, breaks down the carbohydrates, breaks down glucagon to glucose. The beta cells to produce insulin so that glucose can go into the cell. Delta cells by enzyme lipase to break down fatty acids, and cholesterol. What about the kidneys? Well, it's a filtering organ. Everything you eat, waste, goes through the kidneys, fluid control, urine, balance, and salts. The liver, this is where protein synthesis, production of cholesterol, the bile, and triglycerides, detoxification of insulin, hormones, important role in the immune system. Next. So, this one's supposed to happen. It's too much to digest. Our fat friend cholesterol is transported in the blood. Cholesterol is a steroid, contains alcohol. It is fat soluble, produced in the liver. It is carried in the blood by molecules called lipoproteins. A lipoprotein is any complex or compound containing both lipid, fat, and protein. There are three main types of carriers, lipoproteins: low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein, and triglycerides. These are the carriers, because cholesterol cannot move through your body. Let's say that Madrid is the whole body in its cholesterol, and Valencia is the area where it's produced. So LDL carries cholesterol to Madrid. HDL brings it back to if it's too much, it can be carried to small. Now, LDL carries the cholesterol from the liver to cells. The large particles are called good LDL. The small particles often get stuck in the arteries. This is bad cholesterol. You should get a apolipoprotein B test. Your doctor can do this for you when they run a lipid profile. It's about 6 pages long, and it takes an expert biochemist to evaluate. Doctor will probably do to what vitamins you need, the proper diet. Okay. Next slide. So here we are again. A weak immune system contributes to about 500 diseases. Obesity, one of them, called ignorance, excess sugar, excess eating, sedentary lifestyle. Diabetes, excess sugar. It impacts the pancreas, liver, kidneys, eye, heart, every organ in your body. Okay. Cancer used to be classified in the areas where they're found: carcinoma, sarcoma, and so on and so forth. Cardiovascular diseases, strokes, arteriosclerosis, hypertension, high blood sugars, and dementia, cognitive decline, some kind of memory loss. There's several of these diseases. And then stomach ulcers, acid reflux, goes to diarrhea, constipation, nausea. This by low acid. No one has too much acid. Next slide. So what is the metabolic syndrome? It's a cluster of health problems: hypertension, insulin resistance, leptin resistance, you eat too much, high triglycerides, obesity, pancreas, liver, and kidney dysfunctions, lead to diabetes. Visceral accumulation is getting fat, inflammation. Metabolic syndrome can be caused by any one or three of these areas: excess sugar, fructose overdose, high triglycerides, high LDL, low LDL, HDL, low natural hormones, low stomach acid. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the perfect storm for cardiovascular diseases, the syndrome. Next. And now for the good part. Next. Immunity and prevention. This is my area of not specialty, but I'm more interested in what we can do to prevent. The next slide. So, Dr. Yoshinori Oshume, Nobel Prize, 2016. This gentleman spent a lifetime studying these particles called lysosome in our bodies. These are the garbage disposals. He coined a word, autopathy. It's a normal physiological process in the body that deals with the destruction and cleaning and repairing of cells. Is it possible to take an old car like this and turn it into a brand new one? Well, this is a little exaggerating, but I think the body can do this, okay? Next slide. Here's one of my heroes, Dr. David L. Katz. I visited his program about 10 years ago at Texas A&M University. This man gets a standing ovation every time he presents an hour seminar. Very knowledgeable. Director and co-founder, Yale Prevention Research Center, Director of Integrative Medicine at Griffin Hospital, President-elect of American College of Lifestyle Medicine, internationally renowned authority on nutrition, prevention, health promotion, weight management, and integrated wellness. He also helped to develop the probiotic Peptiva. Next slide. Oh,
Next slide, please.
the skills you need to slash your risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and more by 80% by Dr. Katz. He states that abundant scientific evidence shows that 4 simple things can do this: not smoking, eating well, being active, maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So today, hopefully, we will increase your lifespan by many years. Next slide.
Next slide, please.
So here we are again. It's a review: obesity, diabetes, cancer, stomach disorders, cardiovascular disease, cognitive disorders, the metabolic syndrome, immunity. And the word epigenetics, changes in the organism caused by modification of gene expression due to diet, environment, and behavior, DEB, rather than the alteration of genetic code. We're in control. By this, we can divide the entire genome in our bodies into 3 different groups. One is highly non-changeable genes, 1/3. Second third is intermediate genes, and the third, last 1/3, is the recessive genes that are not expressed. But we have the ability to express them. The good genes also have the ability to express the bad genes, so it works both ways, but we are in control by this. Next slide. So this is it, epigenetics. We are in full control of the weak recessive genes, epigenetics. Next slide. How to live healthily ever after. 70% of your plate must be 75% is fresh vegetables, a little red meat, and exercise. Okay. Eat food, not much. For crying out loud, stop eating so much. Mostly plants. Grass-fed, non-processed meats, eliminate excess sugars, and exercise on an empty stomach. Next slide. So plant food is good food. Great. Next slide. Nutraceuticals, mainly from plants. Vitamins, antioxidants, prevention, oxidation, rusting, minerals, fibers, amino acid proteins, flavonoids, carotenoids. Next slide. So we'll spend a lot of time trying to talk about individual foods: asparagus, avocados, broccoli, fatty fish, nuts, olive oil, watermelon, turmeric, spinach, clayton, all that. So my favorite salad is kale and spinach, maybe a little broccoli or cabbage. This you can throw in a lot of boiled, not chicken fried chicken, but boiled chicken or boiled shrimp. And the black bottle olive oil with a little apple cider vinegar. This is, in my opinion, the healthiest salad you can find. Next slide.
Next slide, please.
Wow.
Next one, please.
But it helped me. So this is my pharmacy. Are you a vegetarian? If you eat vegetables, of course you're a vegetarian. I am a vegetarian. But what kind? That is the big question. What kind of vegetarian are you? Next slide. Okay. We have the two extremes, plant food, vegetables. What do we really know? A vegan is 100% plant food. They have no beef, no poultry, no fish, no dairy, no nothing. Okay? 100% vegan. Number two, lacto-ovo veggies. These folks consume a little bit of butter, milk, and eggs. This is all animal food. About 34% of our population. How about pesco veggies? Pesco fish. They include the cheese, the milk, the egg, on animal fat, and a little bit of fish. How about that? 9.7%. Now, how about the semi-veggie? I think this is where I belong. 8.3. We do a lot of cheese, milk, eggs, fish, poultry, and lean pork, beef, pork, saturated fat. This is the good fat. The nutritional specialist will tell you this is good stuff, not bad stuff, okay? If your religion keeps you from having animal food, you have to go vegan. Now, the other extreme from vegan is the non-veggie. They eat everything, okay? Butter, milk, eggs, fish, poultry, anything goes. And it also includes excess sugar, little veggies. These are the sick people, 43% of our population are in this group. And that's not very good. Next. So what you need to know is this. Scientific studies indicate that 80% of vegans might have nutritional deficiency in these areas. Plants don't have vitamin B12 and very little or none of these other ones. There's a lot of protein, omega-3 fatty, DHA, the amino acids, carnitine, creatine, and taurine, not there. Mineral, calcium, iron, zinc, problems finding this material. This is why the vegetarian society, vegan people, state that vegetarians can consume all the vitamins and minerals they need from a balanced or varied diet. Where is the science? It's not there. Zoe Harcombe, PhD, excellent nutritionarian, says that vegan is not for young children. There's been a lot of death in families that are strictly vegan. Okay. So be careful with that. Next slide. Hippocrates knew what he was talking about 460 years before Christ. He stated that let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. How about that? He already knew that many years ago. Next. So Dr. Cass says we can get there if we follow the yellow big road, the gourmet shop, the outdoor activities, the perfect gym. You do the depth. Next slide. So I say the end to human suffering. Next slide. Thank you. Have a very nice day.